Do you want crazy COD settings that get you called a cheater in ranked play like this?
Dragging me through the wall.
Yeah, shooting bodies is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I just
Cheating is fucking crazy.
Cheating? Cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yo, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today's video, we have controller settings, best graphics settings for Modern Warfare 3 rank play, and anything you want to play on here. Also going to include dead zones and the stuff I use and the aim assist curves and all that. By no means a pro player, but I have been experimenting with a lot of different things, and if you want to take this information from me, you can and feel free to. I've also watched many videos on these dead zone settings and all these settings to make sure that we get the best performance. And yeah, make sure you guys drop a comment on what video you want to see next. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, so in display mode, you always want to be rocking full screen exclusive unless you are streaming. Then you can put on Windows mode. Display monitor, make sure it's set to your monitor. Here, just make sure it's your graphics card. Screen refresh rate, make sure this is set at the highest because sometimes it can reset to a lower refresh rate. For the display resolution, obviously 1920 by 1080. Aspect ratio, you leave it at automatic. Make sure your brightness is set at like 50 to 55. You don't want it too bright because it's just gonna look really ugly. Sustainability, this option I don't really touch. This just has efficiency, eco mode preset. For the VSync and menus, you definitely want this off. Custom rate, I don't know why that was on. Custom frame rate limit, you want it on limited, or I would cap it at your monitor's refresh rate. Menu render resolution optimal. Pause game rendering off. Focus mode, this doesn't really matter. So here are the really important settings. So in the quality section, you want to put it as custom preset. Upscaling, you definitely want to have NVIDIA DLSS if you have a NVIDIA graphics card. If you don't, Fidelity XCast works great. And you can just put that on 90 or 100. And then the VRAM scale target, you want it at 90 if you are using a NVIDIA graphics card. So down here for the texture resolution, you want it at very low. Texture filter anisotropic, low. Depth of field off. Detail quality, low. Particle resolution, very low. Bullet impacts, you don't need any of this stuff, off. Persistent effects, off. Shader quality, low. On demand texture streaming, this actually tanks your performance if you have it on. This is a horrible setting, unless you have some special like CPU or some shit. This is a terrible setting. But yeah, make sure this is off, because if it's on, sometimes you can get a lot of frame drops from it. So yeah, turn that off definitely. Local texture streaming, normal. Shadow quality, very low. Screen space shadows, off. Ambient inclusion, off. Screen space reflections, off. Static reflection quality, low. This goes into the environment now. So tessellation, off. Volumetric, low. Deferred physics quality, off. Weather grid volumes, off. Water quality, off. All right, so this is going to be like a bit of the field of view stuff. And what you want to play on is about like 95 or like 95 to 105. Some pros play on 98, some play on 99, some play on 100, some even play on 95. So it's just really personal preference, but you don't want to go over 105 and you don't want to go under 95. I play on 105. This works for me. I am going to tweak it a little bit. I know the lower this is, closer to like the 100 to the 90 whatever mark, your aim assist, like if you go higher, like obviously you're not going to get as much aim assist. And then ADS field of view, you always want to be playing unaffected. As you can see, it just values closer right here in the field of view setting. And weapon field of view wide, you can see more around you because the weapon isn't blocking the screen, as you guys can see by the differences on the bright. World motion blur off, weapon motion blur off. If you have these on, it's going to be tragic. Do not put these on. Film grain, you want to put this shit to 0. This shit is terrible. These first person camera movement, this is least, so you want to make sure you have it on 50%. All right, so for the controller settings, I play with the Scuf Envision Pro. If you guys see this controller right here, I do have 4 paddles on the back and trigger stops. I don't play flipped and I play tactical, so I crouch with my joystick. Stick layout default, this is just personal preference. I used to play on flipped, so this was pretty nice when I had a PS5 controller, because I would shoot with the bumpers and they weren't that bad. For the dead zone settings, we do have these dead zone inputs. So what I play on is 0 right here, 70 right here, right stick min is 2. This can actually depend on your controller, because I kind of have a newer controller, so I put it at like the lowest I can. I still get like a little stick drift is fine, but if you have too much of it where it's unplayable, you obviously want to turn it down. But if just like a tiny bit that you don't really notice, that's okay too. So this is kind of like the closest I can get to my character not moving in game when I push it to the right. I've also tried 3. I know a lot of pros use 5. So really in that range between 0 to 5 is where you want to be on the dead zone. Make sure you have this to 0 to 5. Left stick min is always 0. This is just for strafing and stuff. The 70 is also for strafing. And then for the right stick max, you don't want to touch this. You can leave it at 99. Left trigger, this is kind of how far you press down your trigger. So when you press it down, it just has the fastest response time. The good thing about this is you can test these. So just to know that your dead zone is good. So for 2, if I go to the right once and it snaps right back in the middle, that means that it's working properly. So as you guys can see, I don't know if you can see it because my webcam is blocking it, but I'm going to move down. You can see right here. I'm moving it down, snaps back into the middle. No problem. So that means that my dead zone is pretty accurate. Same thing with the left stick. You just want to drag it to the left or top, anywhere. And if it snaps in the middle, that means your dead zone and your left min and max are doing good. Moving on to the sensitivity, my personal preference is 6. I've seen a lot of pros play on 4 or 5 or 6. That's kind of the range, 4 to 6. I've seen Octane, he plays on 7. So it just really depends, personal preference. But you also don't want to go too high of a sensitivity because, again, the aim assist isn't going to catch. You're not going to catch that aim assist. I don't really mess with any of these sensitivity multipliers because then it starts getting too complicated. Vertical aim axis, I don't really touch that. Make sure your aim response curve type is dynamic. I've seen people play on standard back in Cold War, but I don't think that's the one that everyone's using now. So everyone's really on dynamic. So you make sure you are on dynamic. I don't touch any of these settings. Like I said, target aim assist obviously on. Aim assist curve type or aim assist type is default. Some people play on Black Ops. I don't really know. It's just personal preference. It's either Black Ops or default that I've seen. So either or is fine if you guys enjoy Black Ops. That aim assist if it's better. So moving forward with the gameplay, obviously you want automatic tack sprint, you want slide maintain sprint off, you want auto move forward off, single tap sprint, ground mantle off, automatic airborne mantle off, automatic ground mantle off, slide dive behavior. Some people play, I used to play on tap to slide, so I would hold to dive, but that kind of messed up the movement and it wasn't as smooth. And apparently if you put it on slide only, a lot of the pros and pro coaches are talking about slide only giving you an extra 200 milliseconds faster reaction time when you slide cancel. So that's kind of like a really good benefit. So I just put it on slide only. I've been testing this out for a bit, so this is a lot better for me and it feels a lot smoother. Guys, thank you guys for watching the video. And like I said, by no means am I a pro, but they're just my settings that I use based off of pros and what I've seen that works best for them. And I kind of just put it into my own settings and kind of work with that and see what works best for me. So I think that's what you should take away from this video is take these settings. If you like 6 sensitivity, you can rock 6 sensitivity. If you don't like it, it's too fast, put 5. Try 4. Experiment with the dead zones. You know, maybe you have an older controller. You know, like you need a 3 or 4 for the right stick max. Because you have too much you know, stick drift or whatever. So yeah, man, just try it out, see how it works. Make sure you guys rock those graphic settings for the best performance in game. And I'll see you guys later. Drop a sub, follow my Twitch. I'm live every day, and I appreciate you guys. Peace out.